known when it comes to the real estate industry, Director of Sports and Entertainment Division at Compass, Ben Watts. Give us a pulse of the real estate industry, the market as it relates to the sports and entertainment industry, as well as maybe any recent celebrity transactions that might be fun to know about.
You want me to name drop? Okay. Try not to do that. But no, happy to be here with you all. Thank you. I think, what Mayor Suarez alluded to, it's not just a sporting event anymore. It is a lifestyle. And beyond real estate, it's getting people to tie deep roots here. Many of them are from South Florida in general. And we know that the government may not have the capacity to go into communities and really create mentorship programs to start businesses. We live in the day and age of influencer, right? We all know these Instagram celebrities that get paid by brands just to go do things, right? But athletes and celebrities in particular have more and more of a social responsibility. And if we can successfully keep them here, keep them engaged, get them to buy and own real estate here, have this be their principal place of residence, they can then go into the community with education, start mentorship programs, go into the communities and help the youth out and really create a lasting effect in a place like South Florida. So I think that's a bigger part of it. I would say that to paint the picture successfully of athletes and entertainers, they also have the most complex logistical needs of any professional working group out there, because they're young, they have money, but a lot of times they don't have the education to know what they should be doing. So when you look at this niche, they have a lot of things that are going on, and I'm keenly aware of trying to have them look at real estate as a business, not just money going out because they're living in fancy houses, but what about money coming in? What about the legacy? What about creating passive income for themselves when they stop playing so that they can have the secure financial future to go out and do some things that I talked about earlier, which is impact their communities in a great way. And there's lots of examples now of people doing that. A lot of athletes see models of LeBron James and Derek Jeter and people like that successfully transitioning from their playing career into post-playing career and doing some really good things. So I think that's a good, positive thing. We all have a responsibility, I think, to play as a business community to help effectuate that. Some of the logistical issues, really quickly, that they have to face are, playing in a season, having a seasonal rental. Then the season ends, they go somewhere else to train in the off season. They've got the tax implications that affect where they maintain their principal residence. They've got, in this day and age, especially security and privacy concerns that they have to deal with. And last but not least, they've also got family pressures and all the transactions with family and people in their sphere of influence. So it's not uncommon that you see a player or celebrity that has, during their active playing career, multiple real estate transactions per year while they're still playing. So you can imagine a lot of the things that they have going on around them. Not all of these are luxury transactions. A lot of these are rentals. They span all different price points. But within the luxury market, in particular, let's take a market like Pinecrest. We all know Pinecrest, lots of luxury homes there. In the last 3 years, there have been 8 sales above $5 million in Pinecrest. That I know of, 3 of those sales were involved athletes or celebrities. So you had James Johnson and Dion Waiters from the Heat purchase 2 homes there. You had Mark Anthony trade in and out of a $5 million plus property, and then go into Tahiti Beach and Coral Gables and buy a very expensive home there. So those are just an example. That's nearly 40% of the market share over the last 3 years, $5 million plus in Pinecrest. I helped one of the major sports executives in the, without naming names, moved down from New York last year to South Florida. Taxes and lifestyle and weather were really the main factors there. And there's a copycat effect because now this year, 2 of his senior executives will also be moving down to South Florida. So you see that happening, and that's a good thing. Lil Wayne just came out in the news. He bought a $18 million property in Miami Beach, and this is one of many that he has bought and sold over the years, the last decade plus, principally on Miami Beach. So those are just examples. I sold the biggest house in Southwest Ranches a few years ago to Santi Samuel, former football player, sold that. So in and around South Florida, in the luxury market, there's definitely a stake that this community is making and will continue to make going forward. I think the good news for South Florida is that as we are kind of halfway maybe through our expansion, in Miami in particular as a real global city, we're becoming highly amenitized. It's almost like a playground, not just for us in this room, but for the professional athlete, for the celebrity. If you look at the economic development and the real estate development just between Brickell and Midtown and Design District, you talk about several $1 billion plus projects that are happening, and this is really, in some ways, drawing the luster away from Miami Beach, because Miami Beach historically was what people thought of in the sports entertainment world. Now, it's almost an afterthought in some ways, except for the ultra high luxury, because the prices are so expensive, and the action, the buzz, the excitement, that's all happening on the mainland nowadays. So where the action is, you look at Edgewater, you look at Midtown, downtown, a lot of the condos, that's where the celebrities want to be, and I've been involved in many transactions there that typically before were on Miami Beach. You look at suburban markets like Weston, Pinecrest, which I mentioned, Plantation, you go up into Boca, West Boca, you go to Parkland, Davie, South Stranges. These are all markets that are chock full of athletes and celebrities for many reasons that live in those markets. So I think we're going to continue to see people of this caliber move here for tax purposes, lifestyle purposes. It's a great place for retired athletes to come. They like to play golf, right? We all know that. Some of us play golf in this room too. We also see like the Latino baseball players segment. They come to Miami. Why? Because it's culturally diverse. They understand and feel comfortable in this market. Maybe not so in Oklahoma City or Kansas City, right? So we see a lot of them in Coral Gables and in Pinecrest, for instance, for that matter. And I think lastly, we are in this day and age, like I mentioned earlier, where the influencers are here. But these athletes, even pedestrian players, are making millions of dollars per year. These contracts continue to escalate. And I think as the luxury real estate market continues to weaken and soften over the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see this recession-proof clientele come in and make some big splashes and make opportunistic purchases within the luxury market as well. And we're going to continue to see the rentals, the short-term rentals, the seasonal rentals, and that's almost their first taste of Miami, and then they transition into hopefully owning properties here for the long term, and then ultimately coming in and being a part of this community and helping us evolve.